Hello there, I'm Dark Shades and I'm broadcasting out of the UK into your homes and welcome to my channel. Today I would like to talk about the issues that Black women in particular face with regard to relationships, social situations that affect their mental health. And you wouldn't believe how little things impact a lot. Well, they're not even just little things. It's quite a lot. First of all, we do have the situation within relationships. We also, which I'll go into later, we also have the situation where, as mothers, we have to worry about our sons and them going onto the street and whether or not they're going to be safe. And we also have to think about our own background and what we've been through and how that impacts on relationships and how past relationships impact on current relationships. And what about what we're accepting in today's relationships, especially abusive behavior, why we are accepting it. And when I talk about abusive behavior, I'm not talking about physical abuse, because physical abuse isn't the only abuse. You've got emotional abuse, you have financial abuse, you have psychological abuse, you have emotional abuse. So there are different types of abuse. And so you're, depending on where you are in life, depending on the experiences you had, you could be putting up with abuse and you don't even realize it. You could be putting up with substandard relationships and you're thinking it's okay. It's only that little niggling thing in your stomach that's telling you, no, something's not right. And the fact that you're questioning how you feel is what's causing the stress. Also, the fact that you can't be yourself. A lot of women, especially Black women, if we raise our voice a decibel, we're told that we're aggressive. We're told that we're intimidating. So we're always having to suppress our true feelings, who we really are. We can't be who we really are because that we're made to feel as though there's something wrong with who we really are. So then we find ourselves being compliant and playing a part, even putting on an act in order to be someone who is acceptable. But do you know what that does to your mental stability? Do you know what that does to your sense of self-esteem? What you're telling yourself when you have to suppress who you really are is that the real me isn't acceptable. The real me is not nice. The real me is horrible. The real me mustn't come out, mustn't be shown. Because if she does, or if she is, now this video is for women, so I'm not going to keep going in between men and women. This is for women in relationships, women who identify as women in relationships with men who identify as men. So yes, so I just wanted to get that out of the way, because otherwise I get these comments, oh, that happens to men too, and I know we can switch it and it happens to men, I know that, but I need to kind of focus, because I'm talking on this based on individual women who have spoken to me about their concerns and they've asked me to do a video on it. So I'm focusing really on them. And it is so widespread, I am sure that other women will relate to it. So when you're in a relationship with a man and you're kind of thinking, am I crazy? Is it me? Why am I taking this so personally? Why is it upsetting me? And the thing is, you've got men who goad women and try to get them riled up. And it's almost like, and then they try to make it look like they're the ones with the problem. And it's, when somebody was talking to me today and their partner was projecting their insecurities. And some women, if you're not alert or self-aware, you don't even realize that that's what men are doing. You kind of take it on. Because the man comes over as confident, you take it on as, oh yeah, it's them. They're confident. So the problem is with me. And that's how you perceive it. And that's why you take it on, and then you think, oh, what do I do to sort this out? What can I do to change? And you find yourself questioning who you are. Again, on top of having to question yourself as a woman, period. Woman navigating through life. It's already a double whammy. Black women, it's already a double whammy in the UK. So having relationship issues on top of it, no wonder 30% of black women are going for have mental health issues. It's no wonder. I'm surprised the figure isn't even higher. It probably is, but there's such a stigma attached to mental illness that people aren't going to seek help. So you have men who guilt throw, especially in new relationships. I mean, it does happen in old relationships, but especially in new relationships, these men are trying to psych you out. When they try to make you guilty, if they say to you, oh, look, I can't come up because I ain't got any money, and you say, oh, forget it then. They're like, oh, is that how you treat somebody? Is it just because you only want people with money? Is that why you're not helping me out? And you know, you black women, this is what I hate when these black men say, you black women, you're willing to help the white person. You're willing to go and spend money in their shops. Now your black man is in trouble. You don't want to help him. Your black man needs something. You're not willing to help. You know, don't you think we've got enough? Do you think we've just ended up where we are by accident? Do you think that we have what we have with no sacrifice? Because that's what it comes like. There is nothing more irritating when a man who's done squat, who's made bad decisions, bad choices, and they expect a woman to come and rescue them and put them up on a pedestal. When they're the ones that have made the bad choices in a lot of the cases. I'm not talking about, oh yes, you can say, you know, men are being victimized, men are being racist, men, you know, black men are, you have this problem, black men have that problem, black men are, you know, undermined and they can't get jobs. Yeah, I get all that. But what about the black men that are doing something? I was talking to a black man the other day. I was absolutely surprised. He's not even in his 50s yet. He's paid off his mortgage. He's got a 4-bedroom house in Turkey, no mortgage on it. He's got a decent job. He's got a woman. You know, so how does his life differ? And there's plenty of men out there who are doing well. You know, so, you know, stop trying to make black women feel guilty about your life experiences and what's happened to you. It's not our fault, but it's like a lot of black men in England especially, it's almost like they want us to take over where their mothers left off. That's what it's like. And especially when their mothers are deceased, it's almost like they're expecting black women to be their mothers. The only difference is that they want to screw you and all. It's not on. And so you find a lot of women, on top of what they have to navigate with through life, they're taking on these men who are trying to manipulate them and make them feel guilty. I mean, I had a woman, she was crying this morning. She felt so guilty because her man was trying to say that, you know, he needs her help and she's not helping him and she's working too long, her hours are too long. You know, she's stressed. Why should she be stressed? She's a confident looking woman who's doing her best with what she has. Why does she, and she's only known the guy a few months, why does she now have to take up, I don't know why, I don't know how they got together in the first place, but that's not the point. She's not responsible for his situation now. And nor should she be made to feel responsible. And then this same person who's a couch potato, hasn't got anything going for him, has the audacity to put her down and accuse her and try to belittle her and make her feel less than. And that's the problem. You've got a lot of men who just look for any opportunity when they see a black woman who's trying her best. They just have to have digs, criticize, put her down. And it's not like we've got here through the easy way. A lot of us have been either abused, beaten up, we've been neglected, we've been discarded, we've been rejected, we've suffered racism. You know what I mean? And yet through all of that, we still manage, by being self-sufficient and working out of, if we had balls, I was going to say working our balls off. You know, we're working hard, and we've had to kind of think ahead and be strategic. And we've had to make plans, and we've had to make sacrifices to be where we are. We don't get here just so. But then you've got black man saying, oh, well, it's easier for the black woman, and the black woman has more chances, and the black woman, the white man ain't so racist to black woman, he's racist to black man. Yeah, I know. But you still got black men who've got it together. So what's happened to them? So, you know, I really felt as though, I didn't even mean to go on like this, but it's so frustrating, you know, when women, another woman was telling me that she is living with this man and she has to pay all the bills. And he sits there smoking and he doesn't do anything. She has to pay for everything. And I said, why are you doing it? What? Just tell me. I said, there has to be some pros. Because I'm not sitting here thinking, well, there must be some advantages. I mean, why would you live in someone's house? You don't spend time with the person because the person doesn't want to come into where you are. And, you know, you're not doing anything together. So what is the pros? Is he good in bed? No, he's not good in bed. Can't even tell when last we've had sex. So what is it? I don't know. I'm just in the relationship. I don't know what to do. But my point is that same person, even though that same man, even though he's not helping her in any shape or form, she has no benefit at all by being in his presence. None. If it was even that they laughed together, watched a program together, went out together, had sex even, you know, cooked together, ate at the table together, you know, even if it was one thing, then I would say, okay, maybe. But when you don't do nothing at all, and then that same man has the audacity to kind of make demands, I want this, I want that, buy this, buy that. You know, it's almost like men resent women for being where they are, and then because they feel you've got a little extra, they feel you're supposed to spend it on them. That's what it's like. We're not your bloody mothers. If we're your mothers, we're in an unhealthy relationship because you don't go to bed with your mother. And I'm not knocking all black men, because I said already there's black men who've got it together. But you have a section of black men, like the ones I was referring to in these two relationships. They haven't got it together. They're projecting their insecurities on the woman. The woman is then taking on those insecurities and it's making her feel bad. And yet these are intelligent women. They're not like dodos. It's like they've got proper jobs. They're professionals. And yet somehow these men have managed to psychologically manipulate them so they feel less than, and they feel as though they almost have to have this person. And I had to say to them, you know, is it your age? Do you think that because you're in your 60s that there's no chance for you meeting someone else? Is that why you put up with it? And I think on a subconscious level, I think it is. I think a lot of women, once they reach their 60s, they think that that's their lot. They don't think they're going to meet a man out there. But to tell you something, age ain't nothing. Don't you watch First Dates? You got people there 75 and 85 dating, finding new love. So age shouldn't be a reason why you are in a relationship where you're not getting no satisfaction, no fulfillment at all, not one bit of fulfillment. Age should not come into it. But some people think, oh, I don't think I'm going to meet anyone. If you think like that, you won't. The world is your oyster. I'm telling you. I would never, and I said that all the time, I'm not going to put up with no crap. If I have to be happy. The person I'm with has to make me happy. Otherwise, what is the point? I don't understand it. Why would you want to be with somebody and you're not happy? And you're spending most of your life, and worse, if we have a bloody lockdown. Anyway, I'm talking about mental illness. It's these kind of things that make women prone to mental illness. And I didn't even know schizophrenia was something you can actually develop. I thought people were born with schizophrenia. I thought it was genetic or hereditary, but it can actually develop over time through stress. Up and down. Can happen whether you're taking drugs. People who take recreational drugs, you can develop schizophrenia. So you've got these men that guilt throw, saying you're not protecting your black man. They accuse you of outside relationships. All a man has got to do is look at you and they start saying, "Oh, you're there with him. You know him. You're trying to do something to make him fancy you." It's just like, not even interested in him. But it's their insecurities. Sometimes they use their age against you. If you're with somebody who happens to be a couple of years younger than you, they're going like it's a big team. Every minute they're talking about your bloody age. And you look better than them, half the time. They're there throwing your age and they look like they're bloody 90. Bloody cheek. And so they expect you to be responsible for the mistakes and choices they've made. Okay, so we have two sets of relationships that also cause stress. You have the controlling relationships and you have the narcissistic relationships. Similar, but not the same. So, controlling relationships. Those are the relationships that the partner makes the relationship rules and pressures you into following those rules. And so it could be like, what you're doing, I'm going to be responsible for the finances. I'm going to be responsible for sorting out when we go on holiday. I'm going to be responsible for when we decorate the house. Everything has to go through that person. That's a controlling person. The narcissistic person is the one whose behavior is tied to your reaction. So sometimes narcissism can't get away with narcissists can't get away with narcissistic behavior with everyone. Some people allow it, some people don't. So it really depends on your reaction, whether or not a narcissist plays out to its full potential. So they usually criticize you, but it's more vengeful criticism. They like to they get a thrill out of causing you mental anguish. That they say, "Oh, I really have fun getting you mad. Your blood is going out of your mind," and then they're laughing and saying, "Oh, calm down. You don't have to be so hysterical," and they love it. They lack empathy. They have. You could be crying your eyes out, and they'll be as cold as ice. They believe they're better and more important. And they also feel they're superior. And because they feel that they're superior and are entitled, they believe that you're not entitled and you're inferior. And they treat you as such. They like to be noticed. And that's the basic difference. So they control you based on fear. Whereas a person who's controlling, it's just about setting rules and making sure you follow those rules. So that's the main difference. And what do they fear? What do narcissists fear? They fear that you're going to find out that they're really scared people, that they're really insecure people. So they cover it with aggressive behaviour and bullshit behaviour and all that kind of stuff. And they try to make you feel less than, so that can pump them up and make them feel better. Okay, so abuse impacts on mental health. Victim doesn't realise it's abuse. They can feel guilty and overcompensate. And a lot of them, they don't speak up about how they are feeling. Not that it won't make a difference to a narcissist, because like I said, they lack empathy. But if you've got a controlling person, they might just listen. And if you've got somebody who is unselfish, they will listen. So we're dealing with trying to deal with people who are pseudo healthy, and they're not. They have your best interests at heart. So narcissistic, their control is fueled by the fear of losing you and losing their perfect image, like I've said, and controlling behavior setting. I've already said that. So what another reason why, and I'm talking about women now, suffer from mental health issues is having to change who they are. I think I said it in the beginning. You're too loud, but being called too loud. If you raise your voice, I mean, even how I do my videos sometimes, people might say, "Oh my God, she's a bit neurotic. She's a bit, they might say passionate, but they usually use a more negative term. But yeah, emotional. Those are the names that they usually attribute to women. If you're too aggressive, they call you intimidating. So you're forced to kind of step back a bit. Even if you say, "Why the hell did you do that?" I mean, you get white people, especially some of those people on bloody Coronation Street, or some of those, what do you call those shows? Soaps. They're effing and blinding and going on. They never call them aggressive. But let a black woman raise her voice a decibel and she's aggressive. She's intimidating. And so black women are forced to kind of be calm and, "Oh, baby, I'm sorry I did that. Is there any way you can do this?" When you really want to say, "What the bloody hell are you doing?" Can't say that. Oh, no. You can't be aggressive. Get that label. You're labelled. So and what I'm saying is, it takes its toll. It chips away at you because you're constantly having to conform and be compliant and project an image that's not really you. You're having to play a part, in fact. So, I tell you, I'm getting stressed just doing this video. So anyway, they call you stingy if you're not paying their bloody bills. Bloody cheek. Some of them have them bill and, their phone bill and can't pay their phone bill. They're talking about, "Oh, lend us some money so I can pay my phone bill." Big old man, Lend us some money so I can pay my phone bill. That's how they say it. "Oh, I can't get up there, I can't get up to you, I ain't got no money. Can you pay me bus fare? Can you pay me train fare?" Big hardback man. And then when you say, "No, I'm not paying your fare," what do you think I am? "Oh, you're so bloody stingy. You're so this, you're so that. You know how hard we have it. You know how difficult it is for the black man." All this bloody guilt tripping that they're doing. I'm sorry if I'm being hard, but I've just spoken to two women who are having such a hard time, and I'm speaking for them. Really, speaking for them. Anyway, so you're called stingy, you're called intimidating, you're called neurotic and emotional and aggressive. Then you're called unhelpful if you're not helping them through a bad patch. And if you happen to be working, they complain about that as well because you're not giving them enough time. And yet when your pay packets and the thing, they're ready to ask you for money. Because, "Oh, well, you must have been all that overtime. You've got some extra dosh. Can't you give me some?" So when we're forced to suppress who we are, forced to shut down who we are, that affects our peace of mind. It affects how what's going on in our mind. It makes us feel that who we are isn't good enough. It makes us feel like we're not nice people. Our true selves isn't nice. If I say to you, why don't you pick up that bloody thing you've left there for 5 days? That's seen as something really, really bad. And you have to kind of work it out in advance, probably a couple of days in advance, how you're going to bloody say it. So it just comes out just right, not to cause a problem, not to cause conflict. Then you end up saying, baby, I noticed you left your dirty socks on the floor and it's been there for a couple of days. And then you think, oh no, I can't say that. And then you say, oh baby, I noticed you left your dirty socks on the table and it's, would you mind putting it in the washing machine when you take them off? Why couldn't you put it in the washing machine? You know what I mean? It's all right for them to be aggressive. And sometimes I don't even think it pays to be so bloody compliant. I ain't doing it. Like it or leave it. It's not worth it. They don't bloody listen to you whether you're aggressive or not. So you might as well be who you are. Oh, anyway. Black women considered the lowest of the low in a lot of cultures. We're lucky to have what we have. So there's a lot of resentment about that. We should give what we have away. It's like black women are meant to sacrifice all the time. Maybe it is in the white society, but I can't talk for white people. So sorry if I'm not including you, but I don't mean that it doesn't happen with white people. I'm just talking about, this is about black women, and I'm talking to black women. But if you're welcome to, other nationalities and cultures are welcome to listen in. Okay, so there's what we have. If we have a little surplus, we're meant to give it to them. What little extra, we can't save it. Oh no. You're supposed to use it and buy them something. Otherwise you're made to feel guilty. Didn't you get extra money this month? So can't you buy me this? Can't you buy me that? And maybe, yes, I know you'll say that these women are dealing with the wrong men, wrong type of men. But these men exist and a lot of women have them. And they don't feel as though they can get away with them. So in the end, black women feel guilty for what they've achieved because they can't even enjoy it. They buy themselves a little car. Oh, you bought yourself another pair of shoes. Why do you need so much shoes? Oh, you bought yourself a watch. Oh, you didn't buy me nothing. How come you bought yourself that and you didn't pick up nothing for me? So, another stressful factor. So you've got the cultural and social issues. You've got the cultural being religion, expectations of a woman that she has cooks, there for sex, supposed to clean the house, be available, nurture a receiver, and they're condemned for a lot of us. On top of all what else we got to put up with. Oh, where'd you get your hair? I hope you ain't really supporting those Asian shops. Why are you supporting those Asian shops? You should be supporting black shops. We get it in the ear. You know what I mean? Where's the little bit of encouragement that we get? We're black women is normally, or a lot of times, they're the breadwinner. And yet not only are you not getting any money from these men, but they're telling you how to spend your bloody money and what shops you're supposed to go in. We know that Asian shops don't employ black women or black people. We know that. But the fact of the matter is, if you can get a wig for 25 quid or a wig for 50 quid, what are you going to do the same wig? What are you going to do? We ain't got money to throw away. And yes, appreciated that black businesses, because they're smaller, they cannot buy wholesale. They cannot sell as cheaply. And yes, we do support them, but we do not need to have it in the ear day after day, every time we go to shop. Oh, so what shop did you go in? and trying to make us feel bad about our shopping choices. Stress. It causes stress. It's drip feeding stress. And I don't think you realise every single day you get bloody grief. This is why a lot of black women are taking all these, antidepressants, taking Prozac, because they're getting it in the ear, left, right, and centre. So, what else have we got here? So, black people in the UK are more likely to be diagnosed with severe mental illness than any other ethnicity. There's, like I said, prone to schizophrenia. Many black women are on Prozac, antipsychotic medication, venlafaxine, panic attacks. Sometimes it's just about conforming, just trying to conform. You get anxiety, you get nervous. 5% of black and black British access mental health services in 2014, 2015. That was 5 years ago. It must be much higher now during the pandemic. You've also got the stress of not belonging. People talking about your identity. What identity? We here they don't want you. You can't be proud to be black British because the British people, a lot of white people don't acknowledge you as British. Then you've got your parents' country who don't acknowledge you as the parent country or the home country. Don't you think that's going to cause stress, not knowing where you belong, not knowing that you can't just get up and go somewhere without, restrictions, immigration restrictions? It's not like you can say, oh, I'm going to get up and go to Africa, I'm going to go up and go to the Caribbean. You can do it for 6 months or 3 months, whatever the visa is, but then you have to come back. And you have to come back to a country that doesn't really want you. How do you think that affects your mental health? Belonging nowhere. You're supposed to belong somewhere, but where you're supposed to belong, they're trying to make you feel as though you don't belong. So that's stressful. And I'm just trying to show you how these little things compound mental illness or affect your mental health. So then we have the Black British experience, which is compliance, if you're British. And then the ancestral part of us is rebellious. So you've got that conflict. You've got, if you're from Africa or the Caribbean, they're more a rebellious race. And that conflicts with the compliant aspect of our race. So we've got those two traits conflicting with each other. Stress! So, in 2016, nearly 30% of black British women experienced depression. Now you know why. What happened in 2016? Well, we had the Hostile Environment Act, didn't we? Where a lot of our black men were taken away. If they weren't put in detention centres, they were looking all ways to get rid of them. And especially those black women who had married people from the Caribbean, all of a sudden, they're either being shipped off or shipped out or whatever happening to them. More black men being picked up, being placed in prisons. So you've got a lot of women. They're there, they had their good man from the West Indies, the Caribbean or Africa, and the good man's been taken away. Stress. So, what else have we got here? Yeah, a lot of us mother and we go over and above, and we have to stop doing that because we're just enabling men. When you mother a man, you're enabling him. Yes, I know you have the best intentions. I know you mean the best for your man, but some of the men, it's different if you've got a man who actually appreciates it and doesn't take it for granted and realizes that you're just helping him through a patch. But some of them expect it. Some men feel entitled to it. They feel as though you should mother them and give them all the creature comforts. They feel as though they should live with you for free. Can you imagine? You have some black men, they think that just because you'll be paying your mortgage or your rent anyway, and you'll be paying your electricity anyway, what difference does it make if they come in and live with you? And live for free. And then they get the hump if you ask them for some money. And they make it so difficult for you to ask them for some money, almost as though it's a sin. You get so much money and you're expecting me to give you money on top of it. You know, I don't have any money. And yet, when they're in your house, you see they want the heating on. All of a sudden it's too hot. If it's too cold. Then when in the summer, they want you to get these electric fans that run up your electricity bill. Then they want you to get these things, these bloody Sky packages or whatever they are, so they can watch football. And you've got some women who do that. They pay for all these packages so their man can sit at home and watch TV all day. £99 for a Sky bloody package. And so they have these dossers in their house. I know it's their fault, I know. But some of them, it's a grooming process. It's not like these men came in like that off the bat. They groom them and they test boundaries, and it's slow, slow, slow. Till the time the woman turns around, she's already in it and she don't even know how she got in it. That's how it happens. If these men showed their true colours up front, they wouldn't be in that position. But they don't. They groom these women. And these bloody women, oh, bless their little hearts. They mean that they think they're doing well. They got a man and they're thinking, bloody hell, I have a man, want to look after him and I'm going to do my best for him. I'm going to buy this for him. I'm going to buy that for him. I mean, I'm a very generous person. I am. If I want to buy something, my man, I'm going to buy it. If I see something, I'm quick to buy it. And sometimes I have to stop myself and I'm saying, look, don't go over the top. Don't go over the top, because it's not like your man is going to go out there and say, oh, I'm going to see someone for murder. And it's not like it's tit for tat, but it's about reciprocation. It's about reciprocation. And you need to know that, yes, you might have a generous spirit, but you have to know where to stop. Because what will happen is that you're more or less telling that man it's okay for you to spend all the money on him. And then when he turns around and he's expecting you to do it, he's not going to understand that that is your nature. And then that's what you want to do, but you can only do it for a little while. And then sometimes when they don't do nothing, then you start getting resentful for all the things you have done. So it's a bit difficult, because on the one hand, you want to be generous and supportive, but on the other hand, you expect to get something back. Even if he doesn't buy you something back, you expect them maybe to help you in the house, maybe cut the garden, maybe put a switch up, maybe paint your house, or maybe they're going to do anything, but they're doing something. They're not just sitting there with their bloody feet up waiting for you to turn on the TV like you're their remote. Ooh. Anyway, what else have we got here? So like I said, a lot of the men who have insecurities and fears, they project it on their partners. So the females get constantly knocked down, ridiculed and patronised, and it chips away at their self-esteem. And they end up thinking, I don't know what to do. And when they realise they're in that situation and they don't know what to do, and it's almost like they've relinquished that control. So you haven't relinquished any control. You just need to, women in particular, well, I'm talking to women, black women need to stand up. They need to say to you need to say to your man, look, I've been doing this in the past. I'm not doing it again. I've noticed that you don't appreciate what I do. I've noticed that you're not doing anything. I'm not benefiting from the relationship. And I'm not doing it anymore. So if you want a woman who's going to do all of that, you're going to have to find someone else. Because this is it. It's zero now. I've been doing it for how many years? Maybe it's 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, however long you've been doing it. You don't have to keep doing it. You have to start creating your boundaries and say, look, and if you've just realised, even if it's after 20 years, it doesn't matter. You let them know how you feel. And so I'm ever so sorry, darling, but I just can't do this anymore. I really thought this was going to be a reciprocal relationship. I really thought the two of us would be working towards something together. But I noticed that you're not contributing. You're not doing anything in the home. So the buck stops here. So, but the man will have been testing boundaries during this period. He will have been pushing the boat out a little bit at a time to see what they can get away with. If you know, they do that. Men do that. When they meet a woman, they test their boundaries. And it's up to the woman to know what her boundaries are, to know what her limitations are. Because otherwise, he would have pushed it out so far and there's no turning back. You would have allowed him to do too much. So you just have to know what you're willing to accept from what you're not, and what you expect from your man. Your man, the thing is with men, if you tell them what you expect, you're more than likely to get it. I mean, 99% of the time, unless it's unreasonable, he will meet your expectations. But because you've set a poor foundation, that is why it's ended up the way it is. But like I said, it's never too late. You know, sometimes, yes, they might be abusing you now through neglect and taking you for granted, but they may also still love you deep down. But they're just thinking, well, if I can get away with it. And if they have to make a choice, they might well want to turn around. They might think, at first they might think, oh yeah, she can go. But when they think about what you've done for them and how good you've been to them, they're not going to want to let you go. And they may well be willing to change. But you need to, as a woman, state your expectations and make them stand up to the plate. Black men, they can stand up to the plate. Black men actually have high expectations. It's women that lower those expectations a lot of the time. Women have been enablers a lot of the time. And women have actually diminished men a lot of the time by overdoing things and overcompensating and making them feel like children or babies. So you need to kind of up your standards, raise your standards for yourself and your man. You can still have the same man you have, you can still turn him around. It's not impossible. It's just going to take a while because he's been doing it for years. So sometimes, why do we allow it? Why do women let it last for so long? Sometimes it's afraid that they can't get someone else. Like I've mentioned the age thing. Sometimes they just want to be accepted, willing to please. Sometimes it's because they have low self-esteem. Sometimes they feel unable to set boundaries. And sometimes they put the man on the pedestal. They think the man is right and they just listen to what he says. But like I always say, the barometer is inside. You know what feels right and what makes you feel good. So you need to work towards that. And the two of you can work together, but not if he's physically abusive, but the two of you can work together. It's just about upping the ante a little bit. So, because a lot of these men, they don't even realise. They're not consciously aware. It's not like they're being out and out bees. Sometimes it's just because it's just the way they are and they've got away with it for so long. So why change? So I hope this video is useful. I know it went on a little bit long, but hey, that's all good.